It is always a picturesque day in Long Beach, New York. We're on the campus of Long Beach High School. Today, Verizon Fios One Sports brings you the Nassau County playoffs and a Nassau County Class B quarterfinal matchup in girls lacrosse. It's a 4-5 matchup as the North Shore Vikings, the 5 seed at 9-7, they'll battle the 4th seeded Long Beach Marines, also finishing up at 9-7. So a quick look at the bracket. These two teams, the winner of, they'll likely advance to take on the top seed, the Garden City Trojans. And with that, we welcome you here again to Long Beach High School with Tracy Weiner. I'm Ralph Bednarchuk. So Tracy, here we have an even 4-5 matchup, a 3-goal game decided in the regular season that went to North Shore, but big news right before the game. Just yesterday, North Shore learning that their 4-year starting senior attacker, Kelly Johansson, is out for the rest of the season with a likely serious knee injury. A devastating blow to any team as they take on a very good Long Beach team to try to put that all together on such short notice.
No doubt about it. It definitely makes a huge difference in this game. But sometimes from adversity, great players step up to fill the gaps. You never know who's going to be the next one. They just have to look at it as Johansson being locked off, that she wasn't going to be part of the offensive scheme anyway, and those next tier kids, today is their day to become stars.
And that's been something North Shore's been working on. Their entire team has improved. They went 3-6 in the very difficult Conference 1 ability-based grouping. So now it is sophomore midfielder Alana Green's turn to really step up.
And Alana, although she is a sophomore, she's already committed going to Jacksonville in a few years. She knew this was going to be her role moving forward, but today is the day North Shore becomes Alana Green's team. It's going to be that way the next 2 years. She doesn't want the season to end today. They want to play strong for Johansson, and they want to show her that there's more fight in them than you could imagine.
And meanwhile, for the Long Beach Marines, well, a great balanced attack team. They went 4-5 in Conference 1 this year, their best in the 3 years since they got pushed to the best division. Katie Brelia has really emerged. She has ascended into one of the top quarterbacks.
Whenever your team starts to make that progression to the next level, you need that one player that's going to do that for you. And you always hope it's your senior captain. That's what Breglia has been for Long Beach this year. Behind the cage, her crease rolling ability has been almost unstoppable. She's fast, she's strong, she's aggressive, she's confident. She is everything that a team needs to get to those next level games. There is no doubt in my mind that Katie Breglia is out there today saying to herself, we are going to get to the semifinals, and I'm going to be a big part of that.
So Long Beach here, the 4 seed hosting North Shore. Can the Vikings rally together and put up an excellent fight in this quarterfinal? We're coming back with the opening draw, the starting lineups. The Nassau County playoffs are next on Verizon Fios One Sports. So the 5th-seeded North Shore Vikings visiting the 4th-seeded Long Beach Marines from this Nassau County Class B quarterfinal matchup, with the winner likely getting the top-seeded Garden City Trojans. With Tracy Weiner, Ralph Bednarchuk on hand as we look at our starting lineups. The Vikings, the visitors, and they'll look like this today. Moran with senior Sarah Cheka also starting on the attack the back half of the year with an injury. Madeline Padaris and Olivia Schatz, a freshman, gets her first start on the attack today with the injured Kelly Johansson. Sheeran, Conklin, and Alana Green running the midfield. Raul, Fordich, Leota, and Nicolette Nanis are the starters defensively. In front of her first-year starting junior goalie, here's Quinn Lacey, a verbal commitment to Lafayette. She's made 137 saves in the year and doing quite well late in the season. 9 saves late in the year against Farmingdale, 11 in the regular season win over Long Beach. And the head coach of this North Shore program is Megan McCormick. Started out as the JV coach for 5 years, couple of years varsity assistant to Jeff Bunt, but then they switched positions a couple of years back. And she's a 2005 North Shore High School graduate where she played lacrosse, tennis, and hoops. Today for the Marines, and this deep unit has an 8th grader Margaret Resnick on the attack, Carly Chernoff, Caitlin Brelia, and Katie Whalen up front. Callahan, Siobhan Rafferty, and Caitlin Pyle are running the midfield. Emma Pfaff, another 8th grader, Daisy Willard. Defensively, Megan Sofield and Jordan Bardo getting the start today. And in her 4th year starting, still just a sophomore, here is Sarah Resnick, a returning all-county performer last year, a verbal commitment to Florida, one of Long Island's best goalies, 130 saves on the season. And the head coach of the Long Beach program, one of the best players to come out of the local area too, Rachel Reyes in her 7th season, 2009, a Delphi graduate, where she graduated as the program's all-time points leader and won the 2009 NCAA Division II championship. And Tracy, ahead of this matchup, let's have a look at your Verizon Fios One Sports keys to the game.
Well, for me, the keys to the game are for North Shore. They need to rally around their injured star, Kelly Johansson, just finding out shortly ago that she has some sort of a knee injury, probably not going to be back for the rest of this season. And they need to rally around that and not get too low from that injury and play at a whole nother level. They need to also contain Caitlin Breglia, who is the star for Long Beach around the crease. Long Beach, they need to play their backer zone to perfection. They need to be aggressive, they need to be smart, they need to force those bad passes, and they need to have a relentless ride. Johansson was a big piece of that. Now they don't have her, so they need to really capitalize on that.
Our very yellow Long Beach Lady Marie.
And for North Shore, Alana Green. And the Vikings start off well first. Hannah Moran, the sophomore attacker that's really emerged, able to drop it back with our officials Bob Sorosky, Jim McDermott doing the honors. Here's Selena Fordich, who may play a lot more offense today. She's a 2-year starting defender, but Coach Megan McCormick may have to find some veteran personalities to try to play up front with their now very young group. Tracy, as we were remarking, today's North Shore starting attack has a senior in Sarah Cheka, who's been starting the back half of the year, 2 sophomores and a freshman in Olivia Schatz that is making her first career start. Talk about youth in a road playoff game.
But sometimes you just never know how that's going to play out. You just don't want to take anybody too lightly. All they need is 1 or 2 good possessions, and you see here they are being patient on the first one, letting everybody kind of touch the ball. But when you go against the backer defense, the one thing you never want to do, never ever want to do, is dodge right into the heart of the defense from the top.
And Alana Green able to scoop up her own loose ground ball and keep this Vikings possession alive. As here is Sarah Cheka outside, and we both remarked in our keys handling the emotional loss and how significant it would be for this North Shore team, having just learned that news, as they pick up shooting space here with Alana Green, to kind of hang around and maybe not let their emotions hurt them if they fall behind.
Well, and again, you want to assume, if you're the coach, that maybe Johansson would have been locked off anyway, so maybe they practiced 6-on-6.
Alana Green against Resnick, and a great start for North Shore. And it's also significant because it is Green that gets the first one.
And that's exactly what you want to see if you're in North Shore. Alana is the next one to step up to fill those shoes, and for her to get off to a sharp start like that is great. And the other thing it does now, for Resnick, she's a goalie that's always on a hot streak. And what this does now is it doesn't really get her just yet into her flow of the game. So it's all about the draw. Anytime you have the draw, you get these great offensive possessions. Here you see Green. I mean, that's off-stick hip. That's never going to be saved. I don't care who you are.
Breakout season for Alana Green with her 41st of the year. And draw control here belonging to Long Beach. It's Siobhan Rafferty, who will do so much of the work in the midfield and can also score. She challenges things to goal. And Rafferty, weaving through, will pick up the dangerous check and will instantly work her way into an 8-meter.
The thing I love about Long Beach is that looked like it was going to be a settled offensive play, and all of a sudden Rafferty just picked it up to another pace.
There are no stop signs, Tracy, in Long Beach. Rafferty, quick step and a high save made by Lacey.
Saw it, stayed with it. The lane closed quickly, so Lacey was able to get a good look at that. Unfortunately here, great save, though, turns into a turnover on the clear.
She tried to hit Nicolette Nanis on the clearing pass, so the Marines will have it back. And here's Katie Brilliant, who has assumed such a tremendous leadership role. She's being matched up by the top defender for North Shore, Selena Fordich, there on the wing. But Megan McCormick had some different ideas today about how they'll play defense, man-to-man primarily, but she may also consider going to a 2-person face guard at some junctures today.
She'll go in and out of it. She'll show a different look so that they don't get too comfortable.
Katie Brelia, and she'll be fouled as she approached Ashley Sheeran on the help defense, working with Selena Fordich. So Brelia in her 5th year as a starter. And Brelia to goal, and this shot was blocked. Great job getting her stick in there. I believe it was April Rowell. But another tough ground ball picked up by the Marines, and they'll have a 3rd opportunity.
Yeah, you don't want to give them 2 and 3 opportunities to get this. Like you said, those turn into those self-inflicted wounds. You give a team like Long Beach offensive opportunity after opportunity, eventually they're going to put one in.
Long Beach coming off of a season-high 16 goals scored against Bethpage in their Class B first-round matchup. As here's Margaret Resnick, They shot the ball extremely well, took care of that game relatively early. As did the Vikings in their playoff opener, the first round against Roslyn. As here is Rafferty, looking to drive and sweep it to the right. Drives it hard and missing high, looking for the corner.
Yep, they set up the ISO beautifully. You saw the head nod. Everybody started to clear out, and they swung it to Rafferty, and then where everybody cleared out from is the lane that she took.
So Siobhan Rafferty has been aggressive here early as Katie Breglia back behind. Breglia continues across, and through some dangerous checks, she'll keep things under control and go back outside with it, where the Marines will look for a great shot.
That was a smart move, though. You know, some people try to force that shot and would have been probably an easy pitch and catch to the goalie. Breglia is too smart. She knows that this is an important offensive possession.
Coach Rachel Ray, who would certainly know a thing or two about scoring and being a captain of an attack unit, she has much more assists this year. She's focused on a great idea. Tracy, isn't it a special thing you can say about a player when they're focused on making others better? This time she creates for herself. Katie Breglia, after the Long Beach possession, has tied it at 1.
And again, what you want to see from your star. Look, she passed it around. She went to see if anybody else was open. She made some moves to see what was going on. She didn't force it. And then when she had her open lane right here, she gets that 1v1. That really could have been obstruction of shooting space as well. Takes it in. She's strong. She's a lefty. Make sure that this time she buries it.
Rachel Ray describing every day she's understood she's going to draw double and triple teams this season, and the determination between feeding and going to cage, and a great vocal leader too. And why not, after her 5th year as a starter, nears the end. That's her 35th, and she's the team's leading scorer. Now it's 72 points, and Rafferty comes up with back-to-back faceoffs. And she pushes here the draw with defenders chasing her. Rafferty into the 8. And Rafferty pushed back there. Good job, Andrea Leota, a freshman defender, just to stand her up.
Just staying her ground, willing to take the charge if Rafferty really tried to push it. So once again, though, a smart decision. And that's what you want from your attackers. Whenever you get these possessions, you just don't want to run and gun and come away with nothing. It's better to get it settled, try the fast break, see if it works.
Junior Katie Whalen outside. Whalen on the pass, Rafferty on the cut, and Lacey comes up with a good save, stepping out.
That was a great save, but the defender made such a great adjustment on on Rafferty there, and was able to really make sure that she drove her to the alley that she wanted her to shoot from. And the goalie saw that, cut that angle off, and made a great save. Everybody was in the right spot there.
So Long Beach, couple possessions, 5 shots already, and North Shore will look for the clear from Ashley Sheeran, multi-sport star at North Shore High School, which is in Class B, but among the smaller schools. They just moved up 4 years ago from the small school classification of Class C, so they need everybody to play everything.
That's probably very true, Ralph.
And Sheeran coming off of a super varsity basketball season. She is now 2-time All-County and has really evolved as a lacrosse player this season, and will have to maybe take a bigger step today. Alana Green. And here is, on the handle outside, sophomore Hannah Moran. And weaving through the back there is Madeline Padaris. And outside here for Sarah Cheka. So for the Vikings, in addition to the emotional loss, of course, of losing a Kelly Johansson, a 4-year starting attacker, your leading scorer, as here's a lot of green handling. Just from the schematic sense, it could be tough. Here's a save inside on Padaris by Resnick. And a loose ground ball. Resnick will finally grab it under some pressure.
You know, Resnick's so good. She's so smart. And what she really does is, again, gets out there. She's so aggressive that she will take away that angle from you and do what she has to do. What a smart play right there. She knows the passing lane is blocked, so she rolls it to the defender.
Very nice bounce pass to freshman Daisy Willard. So here come the Marines ahead, and finally the relentless ride by Olivia Schatz will pick up the foul. Tracy, how about from that standpoint for North Shore? You get no practice time to even fill those big shoots. One thing to lose Kelly Johansson, it's another thing to not even have an opportunity to necessarily plan for it.
So now that creates different matchups that you weren't anticipating all around the entire field.
So truly a day of coaching and adjustments for second-year coach Megan McCormick of North Shore.
So where you might have liked your 3 and 4 matchup, now you're really playing against the second and third best defender.
Katie Brelia, and left it back behind for Margaret Resnick. So it appears Selena Fordich is locking off against Katie Brelia. So it'll be Resnick, watched by the defender, Andrea Leota.
Yeah, I mean, that's a smart move. You definitely want to face guard Breglia. Let the other ones try to beat you. I mean, and they can, obviously. You want to get the ball to Rafferty at this point. Resnick does a nice job. She's an 8th grader, but she really does do a nice job. She's very calm back there.
Here on the crease play and looking to walk it out in front was Kaylee Callahan before she picks up a foul.
It's a tough call right there, you know, extending the stick, but although you cannot come across the body to make that check.
Callahan dumps it inside, and there is Margaret Resnick. So off the free position, Long Beach grabs their first lead.
Again, a very unselfish play. You have somebody on the doorstep. You do have those 8 meters, which are supposed to be, you know, the gimme shots. But when you see your teammate standing there by herself, you got to give it up. And that's exactly what they did. And Resnick says, thank you very much. Since you're so unselfish, I'm going to make sure I score.
Margaret, just in 8th grade. She is the younger sister of the goalie, Sarah Resnick. She's coming off of a big game, 4 goals against Beth Page in the first round. And we saw her emerge, Tracy, early on in the season. She had a very good game that we did against Port Washington.
Yes.
And the two of them always practicing together even after the fact. As here's the draw control picked up by the Marines. Jordan Bartow going back to Sarah Resnick, who will pick it up. But I'm sure it's nice as a family to have a field player and a goalie to complement one another growing up.
Well, I'm sure they get to work hard together in the backyard, everybody working on their craft. They are very close, though, the sisters.
Nearly 10 minutes in, North Shore is going to get the ball back here following their ride. Madeline Perdaris. The Vikings scored the first goal from Alana Green, and they've played a lot of defense since.
Well, the problem is that when you play the backer also, you're going to be on offense. You're going to have to work really, really hard to get open. There's no fast possessions.
Green to face dodge through. Continues. Big start there for Alana Green. Again, able to weave through a couple of defenders. She has both for North Shore.
Boy, Green makes a strong move here. I actually didn't think she was going to get to the goal, Ralph. And what happens is as she's weaving through and she's getting checked, the defenders, instead of holding their position, they're going for the stick checks. And because the ball never comes out of her stick, she's able to beat all of them. And so instead of stepping up and really taking away the space, they're going for those stick checks. And instead, she's able to get a clean shot off at the cage.
This is Alana's second year as a starter, first at the midfield. And she's been a part of the varsity now for 3 years, going back to 8th grade. And part of the program even longer. Her older sister, Alexis, is now one of the goalies at Hofstra, class of 2013. So this is now her turn to step up maybe a game or two sooner than she would like compared to 2017 and 18.
You know, there's hardly any player out there that's a leading goal scorer, an aggressive attacker that doesn't mind the leadership role.
Draw control 1 on the wing by North Shore's Hannah Moran. And let's see, is it going to be pointed to Moran? It will be.
Yeah, it was a dangerous stick check by Breglia.
So Fordich. And calmly will get it to Green. Madeline Perdaris, she's coming off of 4 goals, 2 assists against Roslyn. To the front, Green. Facing again this Long Beach backer zone look. Sheeran looking for the cut. And now here comes the backer chasing her. She does well with it. Moran. Hannah Moran, a sophomore. 23 goals in the season. And Moran has really stepped up, particularly late in the season, too, for this North Shore team that prior to this point had really evolved. They've won 3 straight games.
And you can see what North Shore is doing here. They're playing it out wide so that when in the backer defense, you do play.
Here's Maddie Conklin, got the pass, and then through traffic, maybe turned over. Conklin fights for it, and it'll be picked up by Alana Green. So the possession rescued here for the Vikings. Green again through the 8. Green bouncer, and Resnick able to reach behind her to make the save.
That was a nice save by Resnick. She really stayed with that shot. I was surprised Green even got it off. I thought it was going to get checked out of her stick. But on the, on their offensive sets, I like it. They're staying wide because in the backer you pressure out. So it makes those slides harder if you play wide outside the 20.
Whalen did not receive the pass well, so here's North Shore following a foul. They have a chance for transition from the freshman Olivia Schatz, making her first career start. And Schatz is going to approach the 8-meter at Resnick and picks up the foul.
It's a nice aggressive move. I thought she was going to pull it out, maybe be patient, and instead she went for the goal.
And now they're going to whistle an offsides against the Vikings. April Rowell had crossed the restraining line. A whole lot of moment now. Bob Sorosky and Jim McDermott. Let's see if they have different calls.
No, well, they don't do a throw anymore, so it's offsetting, so it's going to go possession arrow.
So he'll flip the coin, and we'll watch the replay first.
And you'll watch right here. I was surprised right there. I thought it got checked almost out of her stick, but Resnick stays with it and makes a great save.
So they flipped the coin, which is essentially the alternating possession hour like you have in basketball.
Yes.
So it's going to stay with North Shore, and instead of an 8-meter for Olivia Schatz, North Shore will have the ball goal line extended. So that kind of balances it out.
It does, and I mean, I don't know how I feel about eliminating the throw. It wasn't one of my favorite parts of the game.
Just another basketball play, the alternating arrow versus the jump ball.
Right.
Here's Ashley Sheeran. And Sheeran met up high there by Callahan, who knocks the ball out, recovered by Maddie Conklin. So here the Vikings, they've been able to tie up the score at 2. Maddie Conklin, Cornell-bound field hockey star. And North Shore with her junior sister, Frankie Conklin, who's also on the team. Green.
They're being very, very patient, North Shore, and you see how wide they come out, trying to make those slides a little harder. This is a tough pace for Long Beach to play this entire game as well, because, you look at their scores, and they're not a high-scoring offensive team, and I think they use the offense to rest a little because they really do a lot of energy.
Great feed to the front. Resnick makes the save. Inside, Hannah Moran was all alone.
That was unbelievable. Moran takes this great shot, but I tell you what, Resnick isn't great for no reason.
Now Rafferty charging to goal. In on Lacey. Siobhan Rafferty missed a great look. They did get back up, but Siobhan Rafferty had a 10-yard sprint to the front.
She sure enough did, and that started with Resnick's save. That was unbelievable right here. This is a perfectly set up play, but Resnick's right there, boy. She stays right with it.
Tremendous setup, too, as North Shore came in preaching offensive patience. They showed that, and they got a great look, but did not get the result.
I mean, North Shore has to be happy right now, though, with the way this game is progressing. There's no doubt.
Meanwhile, missed opportunity for Long Beach as Katie Whalen back behind with Sheeran defending.
It's very different when Breglia doesn't touch the ball. That I'm going to tell you. She really is just a calming force for them.
So the face guard on Breglia. You may notice Katie will slide through, so we'll play 6-on-6 here. And Selena Fordich being given that assignment. And Long Beach will play without their quarterback and go about it this way. Whalen. And up high, Carly Chernoff, senior attacker that always has a big, big shot.
I mean, I applaud North Shore for this type of defense. There is no way in this type of game you lose your star, you're going to eliminate their star as well.
Breglia trying to get herself free, and now goes and gets it. Now to the front on the pass, and the shot missed inside. Great look inside for Long Beach, but the shot just bouncing wide, and we'll get the foul the other way against the Marines.
What a nice play. Now, this is the thing about Breglia that I truly like about her and her style of play is, she's been face guarded. She finally gets the ball, and you think to yourself, all right, this kid's going. She's definitely she doesn't touch it that much. Instead, what does she do? A perfect setup for her teammate. And that's that senior understanding what it takes to win games.
But the pass on the money there for Margaret Resnick, who was denied in there as Resnick really took A big hit at the end of it. And Lacey, and the pass will be recovered here for North Shore, Olivia Schatz. And she will drop it off here for Maddie Conklin. Conklin, a 3-year starter on the team, always in the right place, right time, is her role. And Sheeran up high for Green. Sheeran will recover. She's got Emma Pfaff on her defensively. Pfaff's become a first-year starter and a future midfielder that's won a job playing on the low D. Now Green on the wing. Green looking to the front, and she's pressured by senior Jordan Bartow in her face.
And that's the backer defense. You know, it is automatic pressure and then a safety behind. That's why you have to move the ball faster than the defense can rotate, and you should find the backside pipe, which should always be open.
Padaris came out in front, loose ball. Sarah Cheka is going to recover. Cheka then got inside the 8-meter. There was a small window. She took it.
Absolutely, and that's what you have to do. And again, with this type of defense, as it's shifting, you have to pump to get that obstruction of shooting space call. If you don't pump, the official's not going to give it to you.
Cheka's done a good job filling in the second half.